Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Got something a little bit different today. None of my usual Civic or old BMW problems, because we bought a new car. That's it, free cars now. That's excessive, isn't it? This thing puts a smile on my face every time I do that. That's right, I bought myself something new to replace the Civic. So that's right guys, the Civic is no longer the daily. Instead we've bought ourselves quite, you know, if I'm honest here, it's a peach. It's an absolute peach, this car. So it's a 20-year-old BMW. It's a straight six. Not what you'd expect though. It's not a petrol, it's a diesel. I've gone back to the dark side and getting a nice diesel for a daily. So I've got myself a 2003 330D 6-speed manual in a touring, right guys? Everyone knows E46s look way better as a touring. None of this two-door nonsense. And I must say, this car is a peach. It's a real peach. I saw it on eBay. It was about 1,200 quid at bids, a week left. And I'm not really one for bidding, I'll be honest. I don't really have the patience for it. So I messaged the chap, asked how much he wanted for it if I came up that day. 2 grand, he said. 2 grand for a 330 diesel, manual, touring, with an MOT. Tell you what though, I was straight on my way there. Yes, I had to get a bus and a train to go pick it up that day. Left the Civic in work where it still lives. Sorry work for that, if you're watching. Yeah, and I need to decide what to do with it. The Civic, that is. Because this thing is staying. This is a lot of fun. How much fun can you have for 2 grand in a car? Well, quite a lot if you get one of these guys. The torque is unreal. Right, so being the 6-speed manual, 200 and, I don't know, 4 brake horsepower, 410 newton meters of torque. That's a lot of torque. More than I've ever experienced before. My God, is this thing smooth. For 2 grand, I'll tell you what, this thing's an absolute bargain. I am well happy with this. Right, so a bit about this one. Full M-spec, nice black leather seats everywhere, black headlining. I think it's got a shadow line trim on the outside, so you've got black around the windows rather than chrome, which is quite nice. It's silver, if that's important to you. I don't think I'd care what colour this thing was. It's not that rusty. It's a little bit rusty, you know, we never buy a car without rust. Shows it's been well used and loved. 131,000 miles on this thing at the moment, which is quite low, given it's 20 years old and a diesel. And it did come with all the service history and original BMW booklets in a nice little leather folder, which is nice. I like that. I like that a lot. Got a lot of time for full service history when it comes like that. So the previous owner, before he sold this to me, he had the airbags done on the BMW recall, and he had BMW give it an MOT, and I think they gave it an inspection as well, because he hadn't used it in a while. So he wanted to make sure it was all pucker for the new owner. Yeah, it failed its MOT, of course. Needed new brakes at the rear, so he spent a further £700 doing rear calipers, rear discs, handbrake shoes, rear pads, the whole lot. Got an MOT on it, and it's only got 2 advisories. 2! That is a very low amount for a car that's 20 years old, that had been obviously looked after by its 7 previous owners. I'm the 8th, of course. And I'm probably not going to sell this thing for a very long time. These things are getting pretty cheap now because of the low emission zones. You're not allowed no DPF on it, doesn't really have any emission standards, which is good. It means it's nice and reliable, of course. The thing is, it's got quite big wheels and low tyres, so you do get a bit shaken around a little bit. But this thing is nice, I'll tell you that. So let's have a look at the outside, shall we? But here she is. What a beauty. I have to say, I think the Touring is definitely the one you want for an E46. What a good looking car. Can you believe though? 20 years old now. That's absolutely bonkers. Look at it. Right, so we do have a few problems with the car, of course. A few of them at the front here. Condensated indicator and fog light on the same side. Little bit of rust under the bonnet that weeps down the headlight, which, you know, it's not ideal. A little bit of condensation, that's alright. Dodgy badge, but it came with a new one from BMW, I believe. I think it's had the front wings done at some point. They're looking alright. They feel quite nice on the inside. Got these big wheels. What are these? 18? Yeah, 18 inch at the front. What's that? 225 wide, 18 at the front, with some very good condition discs, I'll tell you that. Very good condition discs. It did have one of the front calipers replaced in recent years. Down the side there's not really any rust along the sills on the outside that you can see. A little bit coming out down here, which is pretty standard for an E46. A little bit there. Again, pretty standard. Staggered setup on the wheels. What we got on the back? 255, 35, 18 on the rear. Reversing sensors. We've got a tow bar thing, which we don't have the tow bar, but we've got that. So we can probably find a tow bar pretty easy. This bit here, which isn't too bad considering. Make sure, yeah, not too bad. Both of these pillars, quite clean. Same on this side, nice and clean. The rest of the boot looks alright. I mean, covered in crap, but you know, it's alright. Got the opening window at the rear. This bit of trim. Yep, that's broken. The guy said about getting a new one. I'm probably not going to bother. You know, you've got the full folding out thing. Shut the boot. This all works. This is a weird one, guys. If you're ever wondering why your E46 isn't filling up with screen or in washing the rear window, that's why. Because it's in there for some reason. A little bit of rust under there. It might be good to get a little wire brush on there just to sort of seal that bit up. Quite common to rust here because any leaves and silt that come down, they just sit on top of this. You can see some in there. If I can get the camera in the right place, but you can see some in there, like just dirt, mud, all sorts. This side, a few little spots. Not too bad. It's an E46. Scratch down there. Now the passenger side, or the near side in the UK, a little bit of bubbling going on up there. Be interesting to take this bumper off. You know, have a little look in there, see how bad it is. Come around to the front of here, you've got some bubbling down the bottom. Lots of mud in behind that, sits behind that lip, which is why, again, new caliper discs and everything. Pretty amazing. All the wheels, I'm pretty sure the guy said he's had the wheels refurbed in the past few years, so they're all looking pretty nice. And then further down the side, back to the other front wing, which looks good. Nothing really going on around here that you can see from the outside anyway. You know, she's pretty clean. Some nice wheels on, no curb rash or anything. Indicator's a little bit worn, might replace those, get a nice cleaner look sort of thing. Oh, and he did mention this bit of weather stripping was cracking, which again, is pretty normal considering the age of it. But there we go. What a good looking car though. That is a good looking car. I mean, all things considered, guys, the outside of this car, pretty damn clean. I'll tell you that. I am well chuffed with this for £2,000. Right, so we'll move inside now. Show you some of the features, shall we? Right, let's move it inside. Nice black doors. These bits of trim are in the, I don't know, carbon effect or whatever. You can get brushed aluminium or wood effect. I think this matches the car quite nicely. It's subtle. Sometimes the brushed aluminium is a bit in your face. Nice seats, manual controls, not heated or anything like that, but they hold you in nicely. Even the bolster on that side, look, it's not really worn, is it? Gear knob still looks alright. The steering wheel is very nice, you know. Armrest, all sorts of mod cons. Into the back we've got some, you know, quite a decent amount of legroom. This is behind my girlfriend's seat, behind my seat, you know. I could probably fit in there if I wanted to. I think we've got ISOFIX seats. If you're into children or something, I don't know. Haven't got any. No idea how they work, but yeah, tick that off the list. I do like the black headlining. It's very nice. Makes it feel very nice in there. Nice and contained. Headrest at the back, the lot. Right, so moving around to the boot. Feature I do love on this, because we plan on getting a dog, is obviously you've got your rear pull over there. They come with a rear dog guard built in. Look. I mean, that's pretty cool. Got this built in. Obviously it's not good if you've got a little dog, get through there, but you know, that's enough to put most dogs off, surely. Ticks the box, doesn't it? I mean, it's a bit annoying that if you've got a dog, this will be in their face, but you know, apart from that, I mean, how cool is that? To be included as standard, mind. That's pretty good, isn't it? Right. What else we got? A couple of speakers in the boot, few in the doors all around. We've got a spare jack, of course. 6-disc CD changer, and there's a warning triangle in case we have any accidents. So we've got those bits over here. Oh, there's a battery in there. Cool. There's only some, you know, there's only a small amount of questionable wiring there with loose wires and gaff tape around them. But I assume that was for a tow bar or something like that at some point. That's cool. What have we got in here? Just nice little cubby holes doing the rear bulbs and stuff. Get that back in now. Come on. Right, yeah. Couple of tie down points. He did say he's lost the strap from my ear, so he's had to put a bit of string on it. You know, you got a little tool set down there. Right, so we had this in the boot, of course. Oh, look at this. Look at how nice that is. Towing hook, some little pliers, screwdriver. Oh, that is nice, isn't it? That's all original. Nice BMW bits, right? I mean, if you've still got all these bits in, it does show the car's been looked after fairly well, doesn't it? Or I think it does anyway. This thing is an absolute dream. For £2,000, bargain. Right then, so we've got the aircon, which may or may not work. Haven't decided yet. Business CD with the CD changer in the back. 6-speed manual, which is one of the main reasons I bought this one rather than some others. Lecky windows all round. It's got a phone, you know. You could have a phone in there. I think that's what it's for. If you didn't have this bit, if you had the phone, you could take that out and pop it in there. Oh, hello. This does open. There we go, I didn't think it did. Little cubby holes in there, which are nice. This is just a nice car. I mean, they really got it right back in the early 2000s. These things have aged incredibly well, looks wise, maybe not rust wise, depending on which one you get, obviously. Oh yeah, under the bonnet, That's an important one for one of these, isn't it? Right, bear with me. Oh, this is what we've been waiting to see, isn't it? Nice 3 litre, straight 6 turbo diesel. You know, none of the pipes over pressurising anything. The guy did say it might have a slight coolant leak, but you know, I haven't found one yet. I haven't really looked for one yet either, but you know, that's interesting. That doesn't have a viscous fan, so you should have a fan on there, I assume. Yeah, I mean all the tires are nice rust free. Same on this side. All of these bits back here look good. Aircon, you got your batch jumper. Screen wash work, so the headlight washers don't work. See, they've capped it up off there, and they've unplugged this pump. So it's got 2 pumps. There'll be one down that side, which actually sits lower in the reservoir, and this one does the headlights. So the headlights obviously stop first before the windscreen, which is good. You've got a leather sensor. So this is blocked off because they were leaking, which I think is a bumper off job to solve. So we won't be doing that. We probably won't be fixing that one. Right, oh, I've upset some geese apparently. Fucking hell, there's hundreds of them. Jesus, right. Welcome to the countryside, folks. Geese everywhere, eh? So yeah, the only thing I know I need to do is the thermostat. Obviously we're not getting good miles per gallon because that temperature gauge isn't going above 1/4. But overall, this is a pretty nice car. Too nice for me, maybe. I typically only deal in shitters. And this one isn't really a shitter. Although I cut one complaint, BMW. When you did the recall on the airbags, you gotta do better than this panel gap. Look, come on. So maybe I'll unbolt the airbag and just sort of, I don't know. So yeah, so maybe I'll unbolt the airbag, slide it back into position just so the panel gap's all the way around even. Yeah, cheers for watching, guys. Little walk around my new car, E46 330D touring, manual, full service history. She's pretty nice. Need to come up with a name for the car. Sarah's suggested Lopez because the registration ends in LPZ, so that's an option. We'll have to see. If you got any good ideas on names, drop them down below. Right, so I'm gonna head home now. Cheers for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you like, drop a like, press the subscribe button. See some more content on the E46. Got a few car shows coming up. Obviously some maintenance work, some, you know, removal, refitting of things. Oh yeah, the E30, my other BMW 3 Series, almost back on the road. Needs to go for an MOT and welding. Got some more videos coming up of that, fitting the rear brakes and everything to it. So yeah, keep your eyes out on the channel. Yeah, I think that's it. Cheers for watching, guys. I'll catch you next time.